This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, great. See, let's come to a situation. First, let us develop a application in a way. We will not discuss about the concept first. We will see a situation. Okay, this situation, example, what we are running creates a situation which violates a requirement, and then we will see what is that we can do for that requirement. The requirement is to develop. Okay, so reservation software for a limited seat booking environment like a theater or a bus extra. Now, if you see IRCTC, it won't fall under this kind of situation. Let's say I try and have some 100 seats. You can go ahead and book more than that also. When happens in IRCTC, whenever you try to book more than the available seats, that will give you a waiting list ticket, because it's something like they will block your money, they'll take your money and then give you a waiting list ticket in a way that in future if somebody cancels any seat due to any reason, they'll try to accommodate that seat to you. Plus, if nobody is canceling that seat, then your waiting list ticket will be cancelled, you will get your money back. So that's another kind of situation, and that's another kind of system. So here, when it comes to thread, what I'm trying to convey you, there is a resource. Let us say, for example, resource is like int total seats. So this int total seats will be a fixed element in this kind of scenarios like theaters or buses or extra. Let's say there are some 36 seats. So we will take a small bus, mini bus. Let's say there are 15 seats, a Vajra bus kind of thing. Okay. I recently went to Sri Salam using this Vajra bus, mini bus model, where I could see only 15 seats in it, AC bus. Well, such a kind of mini buses environment, what if so many people online are trying to book the ticket? Let's say there are 30 passengers are trying to book these 15 tickets. So what happens in normal scenario, basically each passenger will be run through one thread. He will come, try to select a seat and see the available seats first of all. Okay, see available seats. If seat is available, then he is allowed to book a seat. Okay, so when he try to book a seat, this thread will basically go to sleep mode for allowing some payment gateway kind of operation to be performed. For example, allowing initiated. Now, after this payment process has been initiated, because this thread have gone to sleep mode due to some reason, other passengers will try to book ticket. Now, the problem comes over here is other passengers will basically come to the site, see the available seats, because the seat is not booked. I make clear, he can also see there are seats. Let's say assuming there are 5 seats and then there are 20 customers coming one after another. Before the first customer completes the booking process, second will come, third will come, fourth will come, and they all will see these available seats. Try to book the ticket and eventually also will go into payment process. Before they complete the payment process, assuming that in parallel all the threads are running, first thread or a passenger may book the ticket. Then in such case, what happens to others? So problem here is even they also will complete the payment and then tickets will be booked for them also. This is a very critical situation. When the bus starts, like, you can see there are 15 seats and there are nearly 50 passengers coming. This seat is mine, this seat is mine. Very awkward situation, very awkward situation rises. Am I clear? So situation looks very simple when we develop this application, but this exactly is what happens at runtime. Even in theater also, there are some 5 seats and there are 50 members book the seat, and then show starts and then all the 50 members come and fight for the seat. You know how embarrassing it will be. I'm sorry. So this is the kind of situation arises when you develop applications using threads. Why? Because threads are asynchronous. What do you mean by asynchronous? They run individually without knowing current state of a resource. This is the problem. So when two threads are coming and trying to, it's something like there is a well, people are randomly coming and taking water from it without knowing, like రెండు bucket ఒకటే service, 2 buckets at a time, trying to take the water, irrespective whether knowing or unknowing how much water is there. What if these threads are sent in order? Now to avoid this situation, what is the solution? Solution is send these threads in order. That means in synchronous model. And then what happens? Only one thread will be updating the resource. Once the resource utilization has completed, the other thread will come. If seats are there, they'll book the ticket. If the seats are not there, they cannot book the ticket. So that's the solution. So when you develop applications which requires more attention on threads, like please understand, when there are a fixed number of resources available and without knowing the state of the resource, other threads are trying to modify that. This leads to a very big issue. Same as bank. If you see a bank account, there is amount. Let's say, for example, there is 10,000 in my account. Okay, withdrawal can happen in 2 ways. One, I can pay someone through Google Pay. One of my, like let's say my wife or my daughter can take my card and then go to ATM and can withdraw the money. What if both of these processes are running at exactly same time? Let's say I am transferring 5k to my friend, and wife is trying to withdraw 10,000, whereas I am having some 12,000 with me. So here what happens? Do you think that my account will go to minus 3,000, allowing both of the transactions or threads to run on a single resource, which is my balance? No, it will not allow. It will allow only one thread at a time. So that means only one transaction at a time. Am I clear? Until and unless the first transaction is completed, the second transaction is not allowed to happen. Am I clear? Please try to understand. A state of a variable is visible to a thread either before updation like this or after updation, but it is not visible while it is under modification. That means if one transaction is trying to modify, when I say transfer 5,000, uska matlab hai ki balance is equals to, I'm saying balance minus 5,000. When I'm doing this one, and until and unless this complete transaction is completed, the other person cannot see my account balance. They can see only after this is completed, where they will see 7,000. So they will try to withdraw only 7,000. See, these kind of rules what database have already implemented: atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability, properties of RDBMS. Atomicity is like, the complete transaction will takes place or it will go back to back. Like isolation is a kind of property what RDBMS maintains. It can see a element or database entity's value either before updation or after updation. That is implemented because of the same kind of model what we are about to implement. Okay, let's see this. Assume I have a class called reservation who implements runnable, and this Mr. Reservation is being used by a class called, let's say, Redbus. Please try to understand. Redbus is a software or you can actually say yeah, Redbus is a software which basically uses this, and here Redbus is having public, static, wide main. This is what end user uses. Okay, thinking that somebody creates Redbus related, we are running Redbus application. So Redbus uses this reservation software in the background. Okay, now so here what Redbus will do, it will say reservation res is equals to new reservation, and based on the bus name, assume we will assign some what do you call this, seats number. Okay, let's say for example there is a string called a string array called bus name, bus type I could say, is equals to, well, I am having two different of buses with me. Let's say for luxury, and I am having Vajra. Assume. So these are the two different kind of buses I have. Integer seat count is equals to, let's say the super luxury bus might have some 35 seats, whereas Vajra may have 15 seats. So this is it. Now here the reservation will decide based on what is the bus type you are asking for and based on the number of seats available. Let's say here this public reservation which will take a string bus type to initialize, and then based on that it will assign whatever the number of seats. So here I am having in total seats. Okay, so what it will do, it will try to say total seats is equals to, it will try to assign based on this bus type. Am I clear? You can, I mean, if you have more than many buses, you can do like this basically, or else you can simply put a small if condition and then do that. So here if you say if bus type dot equals, ignore case of super luxury, you can say the total number of seats that I can have is equals to some 35. Else again try to put the same condition. You can have any number of conditions like this. You can take this example to Book My Show style also, wherein based on that you can decide number of seats, and let's say 15, something like this is what my constructor will do, and I have at the rate override public void run. So we will implement this public void run in a while. Okay, now I will come down and I will say the reservation as Vajra is. There you go. Now here intention is we never know how many people may come online to book the ticket. Guys, 6 seconds. Let's say I'm trying to take yes, thinking. I mean, so many when it comes to online, hundreds, thousands of people will be trying to book tickets, but I'm considering for our example purpose only 30 passengers are coming. Okay, now let's say some 30 passengers. It is also a very big list. Like let's take this as some 20 passengers and then make the seat count also as a 10, assuming it's a very small minibus, mini Vajra kind of thing. Okay, cool. So here what is that I will do? I'll try to pass all these passengers on the bus to book the tickets at a time. So here I will say thread T is equals to new thread of res. So every thread is getting created on res, and I will say t dot set name of passenger 1, passenger 2, passenger 3 kind of names I wanted to give. Passenger plus p. Not start. So what happens over here? All the you see the for loop. All of these members will try to book the seat. So one after another, all of threads will be running in parallel on what? On this run method. So here this is called by all 20 passenger threads at a time with a small fraction of seconds kind of deviation, however, but all of them will try to call at a time. So what is the purpose? To book 10 tickets. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to create such a kind of scenario. Okay. So intention here, what is that we said? First of all, passenger will come and then see the number of seats that are available. And if at least one seat is available, he'll try to book a ticket. So thinking that each passenger will book only one ticket, or you can ask the passenger at runtime how many seats you wanted to book and then make it dynamic. For this example, let's make it as one. Like each passenger can book one ticket at a time, or we can make each passenger can book two tickets at a time. So assuming that each passenger will try to book two tickets and till he sees the last ticket, and then after that the application is supposed to show the passenger key where there are no tickets available, try for another bus. Okay, so let's see. So here initially I will check system.out.println. I will see how many seats are available seats plus total seats. And then if these seats are greater than, at least greater than or is equals to 2, then I will allow the customer or passenger to book the ticket. Else, this is not the case. I will try to showcase him system.out.println. Sorry, reservations for this trip are full or filled. Please try other bus. Something I just to show. Okay, so ultimately this is what it is. Now let's see. Let's say I'm thinking each person will try to book two tickets. Okay. Okay, right here. So what is that I will do? The passenger comes, sees the available ticket. They assume there are greater than greater than or equals to 2. That means minimum 2 seats are available. So here I will say system.out.print. So passenger is trying to book the ticket. Am I clear? So see, I will try to take a small string element. Passenger name is equals to thread dot current thread dot get name. See, I need space over here, or else I would have written this piece of code here itself in this. But this actually will take a lot of space. So here I'm taking it as a p name. So I will say p name is trying to book 2 tickets. I said like this, and then I need him to complete the payment process. So here I will say system.out.println processing payment to book the ticket. And then because I'm processing the payment, I will put this thread into sleep mode. okay, for some time. Let's say he will go to sleep mode for a period of somewhere around 5 seconds. Okay, we'll say thread dot current thread dot sleep for a period of some 5,000 milliseconds. So every thread which will come, and then it will try to complete the process of payment, so it will undergo 5,000 milliseconds of sleep, and after that it has waken up, the process of a payment is completed. I'll show key system dot out dot println. This is to the customer or to the system. Okay, so payment successful, booking two tickets for passenger, and then I will say here total seats is equals to total seats minus 2. I said, so this total seats, which is a global variable over here at the class level, will be automatically deducted with this. Now after this is being done, I will say system dot out dot println. Thank you for using Redbus reservation system. So here it is. Now the customer have booked the ticket, completed the process. This is it. And after all the seats are completed, so it will show, sorry, reservations for this trip are completed or filled. Please try some other bus. And this is what the end user actually calls it, which runs for 30 people or 20 people at a time. So let us see when we actually run this application, what exactly happens at runtime. Control S, and I'll call this fellow redbus.java. Guys, are you able to follow this example? So I tried to write the code in front of you, explaining each step one after another. Initially I have taken a class library called reservation, which will be called by an application called Redbus. So Redbus is trying to call this thread based reservation system, which will be called by 20 threads at a time. Each thread I am naming them passenger 1, passenger 2, passenger 3 kind of names. And after all passengers given names, they'll start. That means they will fall on this reservation system to book their tickets. Now what this is doing, it is basically taking name of the bus as a initialization variant. If that name is something, it will give some X number of seats. Similarly, if it is something else, it will give some other X number of seats through which the system starts. And then here, when all these threads call this run method simultaneously, I mean to say in parallel at a time, not one after another. Now what happens is each is allowed to book 2 tickets. That's what I said. So as per to this, you can make it as 1 ticket also, or here you could actually ask the how many tickets he want, and then you can give only those number of tickets. Okay, so let's say ask the customer how many tickets you wanted to book. Let's say he'll say 5, and then you try to say passenger is trying to book 5. But before that, here you need to say whether the total number of seats are greater than or equals to the tickets that are asked by the customer or not, if you wanted to make this application dynamic. Okay, so the if check have to happen on the number of seats that are asked by the customer. In that case, you have to tell the customer saying that these many seats are not available. Please try to give a number less than or equal to points for number. Something like this, a while loop kind of thing you have to run. And when the taken input number from the customer is less than the number of available seats, less than equals to number of available seats, then you get into actual process. Something like that. Okay, now so here this is straightforward. Here I am trying to book 2 tickets per passenger. Let's see, I am running this application.
Enjoying most of the
Best using memory with real season 2001-2002. Okay, it says key bus type cannot find the simple variable bus type. So this is the capital T, whereas here I have used small t. Wrong. Capital T. Capital T. Control S. Bingo. There are no errors. So here I'll try to run it. I'll clear this. Now I'm running. You could actually see all the 20 people will try to book the ticket at a time. Okay, when I run this program, all the 20 people will hit on that the number of available 10 seats, and then we'll try to book the ticket. And you could actually see every thread will go into 5 seconds of sleep, and then eventually every thread will book the ticket. So that means 20 tickets will be booked. You can see this. It is waiting, and then it is trying to book the tickets. It has become so abnormal. And you can see how many thank you messages. From here, I'll try to showcase you. So everybody is trying to available seats 10, 10, 10, passenger 1, passenger 3, passenger 2. And here, payment successful, payment successful. We will see this one. Payment successful, passenger number 19 booked, 18, 8 booked, 11, 18, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All the passengers are booking 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That means all the passengers are booking the tickets. 20th passenger. Payment successful, booking 2 tickets for passenger 14. This is seriously odd, where only 10 passengers are supposed to book the tickets. Remaining 10 are supposed to be shown ki bhaiya tickets are not available. But unfortunately, everybody have booked the tickets. This is a very wrong process. Yes, sir. So what am I supposed to do in such a case? Dekho, there is a process called synchronization. So all you need is to the entire run method, what you are doing over here, is supposed to be allotted only for one thread at a time by simply making synchronized. So this synchronized keyword can be applied to a function or to a thread itself. That means to a particular block itself. So here I am trying to give this to entire block. Synchronized block ends here. Okay. Now this synchronized, to whom you are supplying this synchronization? To the current thread. This. So remember this, when you apply this to a thread, the entire thread itself will be controlled by the synchronization. That means only one thread is allowed to use it. Okay. So let's see how this scenario is going to. Okay, so let's see. Now the process of run method is synchronized. Entire run method is synchronized. That means this method actually can be called by one thread at a time. By the way, the synchronized keyword can be used with the method also. You can say public synchronized void a method name, but not with run, because the run method cannot be, if you wanted to override the run method, it must have only this syntax. You cannot use synchronized with run method. Am I clear? That's why I put synchronized like inside the run method, because you are implementing an interface which is runnable. So runnable contains only one method, public void run. You cannot change the syntax of this method to be implemented as is. That means here you could write override ke saath, you could write the method signature exactly in the same way. You cannot change anything over here. So I am unable to put synchronized keyword along with the function. That's the reason why I am trying to make this entire run method synchronized. Okay, so let us see now what happens. Control S, and I go here. CLS will try to recompile this program one more time, and we'll try to run the program one more time. Now you can see available seats 10, passenger 1 is trying. 5 seconds it will over, and then available seats are 8, passenger 20. Dekho, which thread is run by the processor is not our control, but at a time we are allowing only one thread to book 2 tickets. Okay, so here you can see passenger 20, passenger 19, 18, and then 17 have booked the tickets. Passenger 1 ke saath done. So remaining all will be shown available seats 0. Sorry, reservations for this trip are filled. So there are 10 tickets. Each passenger is booking 2 tickets at a time. So 5 passengers have able to book the tickets, and then remaining 15 members were shown. Sorry, reservations are failed. So you see this, how simple this code is, and at the same time how efficient the code is. So whenever you are asked to develop any like anywhere, when in your future, to develop a system which requires threads to run on a resource randomly, and you wanted to what do you call this, you wanted to save the state of the resource even though multiple threads are running, the best way to do that is by synchronizing the way you use it. Okay, so the synchronized keyword have this is how you can actually use it. Understood now? Am I clear? Any doubts in this example? The main code is in front of you. You can take a snap of it, or you can see that again and again and then understand. ये वाला below code is nothing. It is simply object creation to the runnable instance, and I'm trying to call yesterday the way, I mean day before yesterday, the way we have called 3 threads, right? I'm creating 20 threads now. That's all. Okay. So assignment to you is you make a bit dynamic. Yeah, please.
Sir, if a passenger cancels any tickets, then what will happen, sir? 2 seats will be left.
Passenger cancels the ticket means you have to develop another system which will come back and then update this total number of seats after one thread have completed it. It is, let's say if one thread cancels the ticket, let's say for example, so then what happens is they actually can, I mean multiple threads are coming, you cannot seriously predict it. So one cancels, then again total seats will be updated back with +2. That can be done. That can be done. That means one thread may call cancellation, one thread may call booking or anything. So this is what exactly happens when it comes to application. So here the point you need to understand is when multiple updating this total number of seats, okay, you are allowing only one person to update. Even if you want mute cheyva. Even to cancel also, that will be done. But when after one thread is booking it, another thread can come and then cancel it. Okay, something like that. But when thread is booking the ticket, another thread cannot cancel, even if it is cancellation policy or booking policy, either of the way. One thread is allowed to run at a time, something like that. But what happens when somebody cancels? No problem. The total seats will get back those tickets. And within this time, when after one thread have cancelled the tickets, two tickets are added back to the total seats. If other thread is trying to book the ticket, they can book. No problem at all. Am I clear? Am I clear? So this variable
Yes,
can be modified. Variable can be modified. Either you can remove element, I mean reduce it or increase it. That can happen. Something, if you take the bank example I have said, while my wife is withdrawing the money, I am trying to transfer money to my bank account itself, or my friend is trying to deposit the money to me, sending money to me, then which transaction will come first? Anything may happen. So first come first serve. If money is withdrawn by the wife first, then my amount will be deducted first, and then my friend transfers money, then it will be added. Again, if I am trying to transfer money, something like that. Okay, na? Okay, now, what is this synchronization? What exactly happens over here? You see, when you synchronize an element or a block or a method, okay, whenever the first thread comes, Assume this is your process. Okay, this process have certain set of instructions or element or anything, an object. So the moment the first thread try to access this, because this code is under synchronization, the JVM will put a small monitor which will have only one way of in and out. That means the moment when a thread enters, it actually closes this block, and then this thread let it complete this entire process. Okay, and after the process is completed, this thread will try to leave this, and then the same gate is opened by the monitor, and then allowing the thread to go out, and then the other thread is allowed inside. So that means only one thread is allowed inside monitor at any point of time. Okay, so this concept is being implemented on files. For example, if you open a file, when you are editing the file, no other person is allowed to edit the file. You know that concept, right? Let's say there is an MS Word document which you have shared to someone, Assume. You can share it among, right, to your friends within a network, in your lab, and when you open that and then you are trying to edit that Word document, the others cannot access it. This is the concept. Okay, na? So please understand, this is the concept. So the same concept is applied for synchronization part also. Am I clear, beta? So now the point here, what I wanted to say, let us say due to some any reason, so the thread 1 T1 have entered, okay, and have done this work up to certain level, and it needed an input, which can be done by, let's say, some other thread called thread 2. Now I will take my bank example. Assume on this day, let's say for example, yesterday, which is day before yesterday, which is 6th, I got, I recently have taken a whisper to my wife. The EMI of 7,300 will come into my account on every 6th. Okay, this is supposed to be deducted. Due to some reason, because of the lockdown and all, I tried to go and then get more grocery, or then I tried to withdraw more money and then kept it with me. Last 10 to 15 days, we suffered a lot. Like, there was no milk, there is no vegetables. Nobody was accepting Paytm or anything. They are accepting only cash. So I have assumed out of what do you call this? The total amount I have in my account, assuming just say some 20,000 rupees. Assume I have used 15,000 for these purposes. Now what's the balance I have is 5K, whereas the amount which is supposed to be cleared, this is supposed to be cleared amount. Okay, this is more than that. So how much is that I need? I need more 2,500 rupees. So this approximately 2,300 rupees as well. So until and unless this 2,300 is deposited, this cannot be cleared. This will be bounced in that case. So here what happens is, I'm speaking about a scenario. So there are two threads which are supposed to run on my account on 6th morning. T1 comes. What is this T1? Which is basically the T1 is check clearance. Okay, what is the check clearance amount? It will come and then check the balance. What is the balance? It is less than 7,300. Correct. So here what happens, I wanted to put to the bank manager. You can actually send this request to the bank. Whenever this is coming to your bank, you can say, please, especially happens with current accounts. I have done this many times. I own my own company account. Guys, can you please mute yourself, please? Okay, thank you. I have done this many times. See, I am having a current account on my company name, and it is very important for me, the payment checks that I give to others. Let's say somebody, some other person, I have given a payment check which is coming for the clearance today, and I have given the check based on some client's payment. I was expecting a payment from the client, so I have given another payment to one of my friend or a faculty. So here the faculty comes and deposits the check for the clearance. by the time the client hasn't given me payment, what am I supposed to do? I'm having less balance in my account, and I call the person. He said, "Ki, Bhaiya, we will deposit today. Somewhere around 2 o'clock, you will get your money." So here till 2 o'clock, I have to hold this check which is coming for the clearance. So I will ask the bank manager to hold the check. Okay, it's basically check, CHEQE. Okay, it's not the check. Even is a check clearance. Okay, this check is basically checking whether the balance is if condition. Okay, now here I can ask the bank to hold the check. Then here what happens, the bank manager will set this T1 to wait. So here the thread 1 goes to wait mode. Till what time I can tell him? I mean, he actually can set the wait time also, or it is better I can tell him ki I am not sure, sir, before day ends probably the money will come. Then the bank manager by default allows this thread to be waiting till end of the transactions time. And then here what happens, after some time, let's say somewhere around thread 2 will come somewhere around 3 o'clock kind of thing, and will deposit money. That means online transaction happening from the client. And then what happens, I may tell the bank as soon the money is updated, they can clear this check. I can give in my letter, and then the bank will notify, okay, na, T2, T1. Am I clear? Or it will simply hold it till end of the day. Bank, I mean, this is an OR condition. This is immediately either immediately or till blank close time. Then after that, T1 will, then in this case, T1 will withdraw amount or clear the check and exits. Clear? And here the T2 will deposit money and exit. So T2 will also exit this one. So this is how exactly it will be managed. Now, what if till the day end also I didn't get the payment? So here T1 clears the check and exits, or am I clear? Check bounces and T1 is cancelled. Check is cancelled, and then something like this it will happen. Okay, na? So remember, this is the process exactly what happens. Now I'm speaking about such a kind of scenario. Assume there is a T1 has come, and which is nothing but our check clearance process, and I have checked the balance. At this situation, I found balance is less than the amount to be cleared. Here it is, minus 2,300 is more to be required. I can call this T1 to be holded within the monitor. Okay, within the monitor, T1 will be sitting on a chair and will be waiting for other thread to come. The moment a thread goes to wait mode inside a monitor, monitor will automatically gets the capability to open the door for the other thread to enter. So other thread enters this and will try to do other process. What if the other thread is also this kind of check? Now please understand that fellow also will go to, you know, T2. So he will also go to this mode. Let's say I recently have taken a TV whose EMI is also coming on the same day, which is of 3,600 rupees, assuming. So both of the threads are supposed to be cleared on the same day, and then I may set both of these threads into wait mode. Both will go and then sit, and then T3 may come. So T3 may get inside, deposit the money of some 10,000 rupees, and then it may go out after it is over. Then both of these threads will be notified one after another. Okay, so these are the three methods we will be calling for it: wait, notify, and notify all. Am I clear? So something like this. These are very important. Please understand. This kind of behavior is very, very, very important. So okay, clear. Okay, now understood now. So we will try to implement this kind of example now. Let's see how threads can be controlled within the monitor. That means within the synchronized block also. So here basically we will allow only one thread at a time, correct? But what if a thread requires another thread also to enter the monitor, perform some other operation so that the first one can also complete? That means dependency operation. In such a kind of case, we actually can go to sleep mode, allowing other thread to complete this process and then notify us, bhaiya mera kaam khatam ho gaya, tu apna kaam kar le, and then I will come back and then complete the remaining set of operation. Okay, so this is a beautiful concept basically, which is very important concept. So pay some attention when we do this example. Okay, understand it properly. Let me settle down. Suffering from so much of back pain, buddies. I'm sorry. The antibiotics I have taken, they made me very weak. Okay, file new. You know, yesterday when I told my colleagues, I may not be in a position to help our work in the office because I'm suffering from fever. Everybody is saying, Mama, test the corona part. Right. Okay. So here I have a class called account, and I'm having a class called bank. Two classes. So this bank is what which will run here, right? So here this have public static void main string args, and account ACC equals to new account, and thinking that this account has certain balance assume and balance amount assume. Let's say some 10,000 rupees. Okay, so here I'll try to initiate this account balance with that 10,000 rupees after some time, just like the way we have the reservation process initiated, right? Something like that. Now, in real time, this part will be taken from the database. Here we are supplying, because we are running in a console mode, we are supplying here in real time apps. This value is read from the database. Okay, database will contain existing account balance. From there it will be read. Now what? So intention is to pass two threads. The first thread, okay na, T1 for withdrawal of the money, okay, check clearance. Second thread is for deposit of the money. So assume that this account class have a integer called balance, okay, and now Mr. public account, which will take int balance, and he has got super call followed by this dot balance is equals to the supplied value balance. And here now I'm introducing you how to use synchronized keyword with the methods, thinking that I'm having public synchronized void deposit, which will take int amount to be deposited. And here what is this will do? So this basically will do some operation to deposit, and along with this I am having one more function, which is public synchronized void withdraw, which will also take some int amount to be withdrawn. So these are the two methods. We'll implement it later. For timing, you understand, this is the structure of my account. Now here my intention is I wanted to run the thread one who will call this withdraw method, and I wanted to run thread two which will call this deposit method, and this account is not a runnable one. Okay now, please try to understand, this account is not a runnable. So if this is not runnable, a thread needed a runnable to be implemented compulsory, or else you actually cannot call. Am I clear? So the bank have to run 2 threads individually. One thread always available for the people to be called for withdrawal. One thread always available for the people to be called for deposit. So here you could actually run, create 2 more classes, class withdraw thread and a class deposit thread. These are supposed to be used by this bank for customers to withdraw or deposit the money. This is what you can. Okay, so here class withdraw thread can be done, or you can simply create a small anonymous inner class for this purpose. So here I am creating an anonymous inner class to deliver thread functionality to call the above methods. I'm not interested in creating a class. Only for this example I'm creating. Okay, so for you people it is an assignment. You can create these 2 as threads over here for your practice purpose. Okay, so how do I do that? So here basically you have to create a new thread. Thread is equals to new thread, and then new thread is supposed to be based on some runnable. You do not have a runnable object over here, so you have to implement it and finally have to say start the thread. You can give a name also if you want it. You can say dot set name of something and then can say start. This is so you can say, well, I could say Bajaj EMI. Okay, this is the name of the thread which I've started, and then I can say new thread of dot set name of, let's say, some client payment dot start. So this is how it is supposed to be, and here I wanted to maintain certain time. So what I will do, try catch exception E. In fact, I could say interrupted exception better. You can say exception also, nobody stops you. So here I wanted to say thread dot current thread, which is the main function, dot sleep for a period of some 10,000 milliseconds. That means 10 seconds it will hold. I'm thinking this is like bank time. Okay, na? Thinking that this is bank time. It's like 10 seconds ke baad, while the time of closing this, basically the second thread will start, something like that. Okay, now what is that it will happen? So what is that I'm supposed to implement? So now you understand, right? So here new thread for Bajaj EMI will start, new thread for client payment will start. What is this Bajaj EMI is supposed to do here is, okay, here it will have to say rate override public void run something like this. It has to do. It will have to say account dot withdraw some 15,000 rupees. This is what it will do. This is what it wanted to do with this account, which has got 10,000. It is trying to withdraw 15,000, whereas now the amount is less. So here balance is less 5,000. So thread will wait. Okay, now. So now what happens? Wait for deposit. This thing. So here I will go to deposit thread. So here is my deposit thread. So what is that deposit thread have to have? It is the same kind of functionality. So here I will say Control C and we'll say Control V. So what is that I do as a part of this is I will try to call deposit some, let's say some 7,000 rupees, and here what happens after deposit? Okay, withdraw thread will be notified. Okay, now this is the main work of this deposit. So it is like I am having an amount of 10,000 initially, and then a new thread have started whose name is Bajaj EMI, and it is trying to withdraw money of 15,000. Because the balance is less, I will be forcing this thread to go to wait mode, and then it will go to wait mode, and then after 10,000 milliseconds, this is after 10 seconds, so you can keep this as 15,000 also, like then it will wait for 15 seconds. After 15 seconds, the other thread will start, which will try to deposit 7,000. So this thread will be waiting for 15 seconds for the other thread to come and deposit the money. After money has been deposited, the thread will be notified, and then this fellow runs, withdraws the money, and shows ki Bajaj EMI is cleared successfully. Now the balance is so and so. Understood, na? Am I clear? So once everything is done, at last, I will try to call system.out.println. Okay, or else I can show the balance for every transaction. After withdraw, I'll show the balance, and after what do you call this? For deposit also, I'll show the balance. That will be easy. Great. So now I'll come down to this example. So here, what is that I'll do is I will have a try and a catch exception E. All these wait and notify methods, they actually will throw an exception. So here, what is that I will do? So first point I will do, if this, please try to understand. Okay, if this the amount is greater than the balance that I have got. Please understand. If this amount that I'm trying is greater than the balance, I will say simply, okay, so thread dot current thread dot wait. So here, what do you call this? The withdrawal thread will go to wait mode. Am I clear? Understood? So, and after this thread has gone wait mode, and it will be notified, and if after it has run, if this is not the case, if this is not the case, what I will do, I basically will try to do this what. If this is not the case, if it is the case, then it will go to wait mode. Okay. If this is not the case, I will check. If this after wait mode also, if amount is still greater than balance, I will have to say system.out.println insufficient funds bounced. In this case, else if this is not the case, that means we have sufficient funds. What am I supposed to do? Oh my god. Okay, here I'm supposed to write the else part. Else if this is not the case, what is that I'll do? So if this is not the case, I will try to say this balance is equals to balance minus the amount given, and we'll say system.out.println check is cleared for thread dot current thread dot get name. So I said ki dekho bhaiya, the check is cleared. Okay. the check is cleared and wanted to show the balance. System dot out dot println account balance is less balance. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show. Look at this example, observe it carefully. So there is a try and catch part in which if the amount is insufficient, thread will go to sleep mode. Make clear, this is what we wanted to perform. And here, how do I know whether thread has gone to sleep mode or not? Well, thread will go to sleep mode, right, or exit, right? But I wanted to know that this is what happening. So here you could actually print that this is going in sleep mode. System dot out dot println. Okay, insufficient funds waiting for deposit. So now this will be printed and then thread will go to wait mode. After it has got wait mode, okay, so it will come back after it is notified. So here, and you actually will say system dot out dot println thread dot current thread dot get name is about to clear the check. Okay, so you can do that again after wait time is over. You can even say that system dot out dot println. Okay, so wait time is over. Wait time is or bank time is or whatever you can say. Okay, so now you can say this fellow is about to clear the check, and then if still amount is less than, you can say still insufficient funds, check is bounced. Else you can say this, but in the first attempt it will say ki I am waiting for the deposit and will go to sleep mode. Okay na, till wait time, till bank time, or you can say waiting for deposit till bank time ends, something like this. So here this makes more sense when you see this output. Okay, cool. Then how about deposit? What am I supposed to do here? It is also the same thing. Like all you need is you have to simply say for amount you need not wait for anyone. So you can simply say balance is equals to balance plus amount. Once your work is over, you have to say exception E. You just have to notify all the people who are waiting. So here you can simply say system dot out dot println. Okay, so here account updated with deposit by who have done the deposit. You can say thread dot current thread dot get name. So here you are trying to say, dekho bhaiya, someone have deposited money into your system. Okay, account is deposited. You can simply say account is deposited by so and so person, and you can say the balance is so and so. System dot out dot println account balance is the balance of the account. And now you can say system dot out dot println notifying all waiting processes. And after saying this, you can simply say notify all, and that's all. So all you can say is notify all. You know what happens? The current thread which is running, or all the threads which are waiting for it, will be notified, and then the system will try to allow all the threads which are running onto that system, and it will try to. As of now, you can say notify all. The better way is for us to say notify, because there is only one thread waiting. So notify or notify all will initiate the waiting threads. Now let's see this example. Control S. नाम क्या है इसका? Bank. Okay. Bank.java. Come down. Save it. జాగ్రత్త చూడండి, ఇందులో deposit thread is notifying, whereas withdrawal thread is making this current thread to wait mode. You can say threaded current threaded wait, or simply can say wait. Chalega. Control S. Now here, and this fellow is trying to call one thread for withdraw, and then putting the bank itself into sleep mode for 15,000 seconds, because he is expecting deposit may happen at a later time, and after deposit happens, it automatically again initiating the thread which is waiting. So the deposit part will simply go and then call this notify. So anyway, the thread will be notified. So let's see this. Understood this, right? Okay na? So let's see this example. Control S bank is over. I'll say CLS Java C. Yeah, na?
Some mistakes are there, sir. Spelling mistakes.
Even okay. Where it is? This is one mistake, and
In deposit method.
what is deposited by? Current thread. Inca. Set name dot void cannot be dereferenced. Okay. Set name itla ivvaladanta anonymous implementation lo. So we'll try to take this up, and then Control X, give it to thread, and we'll try to start. It says key that set method is a void method, so you cannot make it as a pointer kind of thing. So we will not use it. So here Java C bank.java. Still cannot PRINLNT, runtime wait was over. ఎక్కడ పిల్లలు అదే this one. ln control S. Right. Okay. So now it is compiled. I'll say Java bank. Now you can see, now the thread has come. Insufficient funds waiting for deposit till bank. You can actually print also. Bajaj GMA have come for check clearance of 15,000 rupees. Current balance is 10,000. Insufficient funds waiting for deposit. Now after 15 seconds are over, account is deposited by client payment, and account balance is now 17. Notifying all the waiting check clearance processes. Bank time is also over. Bajaj GMA is about to clear the check. Check is been cleared by Bajaj GMA. Account balance is 2,000. Now we will see the other functionality. What is that? Let us say I am not depositing 7,000, and the client has given only 4,000 payment to me, wherein I require total. Let's say he is supposed to give me some 8,000. He thought, let's give half to Ram now. Let's give the remaining half to next week, and then I will get only 4,000 at that point of time. So in that case, I am still having insufficient funds. So here, when I run this java.bank, it is waiting for 15 seconds, and then we'll try to, like, the deposited account will notify all the threads, and then Bajaj GMA will come, still insufficient funds, and now this you will see check is bounced. You can see it is still insufficient, check is false. This is how bank related things are operated. So please understand, I'm trying to showcase you in what kind of real time situations threats are used and being used to control the application's behavior. The previous one where we have used threats for creating ticket booking system where number of limited kind of seats are there where many people are trying to book the ticket. And here this is a different scenario. Let's say one thread actually runs and then you wanted other thread also to be allowed into the monitor, which is synchronized. At a time, one thread is allowed to touch your account balance. That is true. But at the same time, you wanted both of threads to control your balance. Am I clear? But at a time. So you put one thread into wait mode, allow other thread to update it. And after other thread have notified the first thread, then only he will run and again uses the balance. Okay. So something like this, you can implement such a kind of functionality. For you people, if you wanted to make this application more flexible, these two parts also can be written as two more threads over here. A class, another class called, let's say, withdraw thread implements runnable, and you actually can say a class deposit thread implements runnable. Okay, na? Where you can actually what is the company? Okay, and you can actually say extends thread also chalega. You can even say extends thread. This is also okay. You either extend thread or implement runnable. What is that you are trying to do is one and the same thing. So here you can say @override public void run. So here you could actually call this one account.withdraw. Like, but this thread is supposed to take an object called account for it. So here you need to write a constructor public thread, which is supposed to be supplied with the account, or you can say here account, and you have to set the account and then have to call something like this, because this thread have to know to which object it is supposed to go and then clear it. So am I clear? So here you need to, it is the better way is to say implements runnable. So here in the runnable you can say public withdraw thread, which will take account ACC, and you can say here you need to have a object of account ACC is equals to null, and then you can say here this dot ACC is equals to ACC, and as a part of this run method you could actually call this ACC dot withdraw, whatever the amount you need to withdraw. So here you can actually say the amount also to be withdrawn. Assume, make clear. So account comma int amount. Okay, so here you can say what do you call this, int withdraw amount is equals to 0, and as a part of this constructor you could actually say this dot withdraw amount is equals to supplied amount, and then here you can actually say withdraw that particular withdraw amount, so which will make your program more dynamic. Now while you are calling this Bajaj EMI place, like in this place, here I'm putting it in comment and I'm writing you the code. So here you need to say thread T is equals to new thread of, so this fellow. So here you need to say withdraw thread. Naam kya hai iska? Withdraw thread. Okay na? So WTH is equals to new withdraw thread of this account, comma the amount to be withdrawn 15,000 rupees, and then here you need a new thread of WTH, which is withdraw thread kind of thing, and then you could actually say T dot start. The moment when you say T dot start, it actually will go and call withdraw threads run method, and eventually it internally will call account dot withdraw with the supplied amount 15,000 rupees. Okay, na? So this is basically how you are supposed to implement, but I have done it in this style. Either of the way, I am okay. So for you people, the assignment is like, the same way I have implemented withdraw trade. I request you to implement this one also. Instead of extending, you can say implement, because we need to take this amount and other stuff, right? Am I clear? So similarly, you implement this. This is for you people to do, and then call it in this way, and then see in the place of this, you call in this way, and then see what happens. Okay, na? Am I clear? And here you can actually t dot start ke pehle you could actually supply t dot, set the name. What is the name you have to supply? This is Bajaj EMI kind of thing. Okay, so these are the multiple ways of working with threads, creating and then working with them. That's it. This is all about threads. I could see people are ready with threads concept. More than this, trust me, more than this, nothing is going to happen. Now this monitor kind of concept, what we have seen, is implemented in Java 8 with two more names. One is lock, another is monitor. Monitor, now it has a name called monitor as a class. One or other way, they all will implement the same kind of functionality. So the assignment to you people, I want you to know something. Hi, hello, not in depth. You may not be, need not be masters of that. No. Concurrency API in Java, especially about log and monitor classes. Okay, now learn about them. Then nothing. They are basically have methods to implement this synchronization. Basically, they will also show you the same kind of behavior. So whatever we have implemented, yeah, this is a big example we have implemented. See, okay, so the same thing will be implemented. I want you to know it, learn it on your own. So try to learn it. Am I clear? So it's not that it is required for you to clear any interview. No, nothing like it. Guys, please understand. Concurrency is what we have implemented so far. So what they have done, instead of simply thread, just like previously, they have arrays, which is a static kind of structural element, which will allow similar type of elements to be holded, a variable which can hold multiple values, something like that. Now they wanted to create a dynamic array. Java.util is already having such a kind of behavior, but they yet come back and then come up with a beautiful concept called collection API, where they separately have defined certain classes, interfaces, which will hold this behavior. Again, it's not like that, like util don't have that. Util do have classes which will implement this behavior, but they have come up with a separate API. Similarly, Java.lang have thread class and a runnable interface which will implement this concurrency behavior, yet Java has come up with a new API called concurrency API, which will speak about lock and monitor. So I want you to go ahead and then see what are these people, what exactly they do. Okay, so this is a small assignment to you I'm giving. We will speak about them once our app development part is over. We actually will come to something called as interview preparation. I'll come back again with an in-depth kind of same topics to be covered, again based on MCQs, based on interview questions. There we will cover these concepts more. Okay, so any doubts in this example so far?
No, sir.
Okay, now we will go to the next API to be discussed, beta, which will be continued today at 5 p.m. That is IO streams. IO streams. What is an IO stream? Input, output streams. That's what we are going to learn now.
Excuse me,
Control
sir.
as IO. Yeah, beta.
Sir, we wrote two methods, no, sir. Withdraw and deposit. Both are synchronized
Yes.
methods.
Correct.
After the in withdraw, the try block is there, no, sir. In that try block, it goes to waiting mode, no, sir.
Yes, exactly.
So after waiting mode, if if it is put into waiting mode, then anybody can deposit amount in that bank, sir.
Yes, correct. Basically, when this is synchronized method, that means only one thread is allowed to use this method. Agreed or not? Ante kada?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes.
that means one thread allowed to use this method. The moment when a thread comes and will try to check the balance, the balance is basically blocked over here. You please understand, balance is blocked by this thread. That's the meaning. That means that balance cannot be updated by any other thread because it is checking the balance. One thread is doing some operation on it, so this variable is blocked. That means deposit cannot happen on this balance. Impossible. So to make it possible, we are sending this to wait mode. So here, allowing other threads to update balance. This is the point. Thanks for asking. Because you have asked, I have updated this point here. Understood, na? Basically, this is allowing only one thread at a time, beta. As you said, it is correct. But wait means the thread will go to wait mode and then other thread is allowed. If it is not going to wait mode, then no way other thread will not come into this process. What do you mean by this process? Withdraw process? No. Touching the balance. Forget about withdraw. Nobody can deposit also. Understood, na? If one person is withdrawing, the total operation have to be completed. Only then a deposit may happen in normal scenarios. In normal scenarios. So that means if somebody, let's say, as I told you, I am trying to transfer some amount which is coming under withdraw process. Let's say in my account 10,000, I'm trying to transfer 7,000, and my wife is trying to withdraw again or deposit some amount. So when this could happen is like, only when deposit happens, withdraw will happen later, or only after withdraw happens, deposit may happen, or two withdrawals also happen, one after another only. So that is how it should be. In parallel, we should not touch the account part, beta. Is that your doubt, or you are asking me some other doubt?
No, same doubt, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so cool. Now let's go ahead and learn something about IO streams. File, new. And here also, Control A, delete. So what is an IO stream basically? IO streams are defined by a package called java.io. Till now, whatever you have learned so far is from java.lang package. Everything that you have learned, exceptions, threads, and everything, they are defined in a package called java.lang. Lang stands for language. So because that java.lang package is by default available at compile time and runtime, we are not importing anything. But now onwards, anything you wanted to perform as an operation of input or output have to be imported from java.io. So what is the rule in Java? Java says key any read or write operations in Java should happen only using IOStream class. This is what it said. Even Java follows it. The one what I am writing, system.out.println. Out is a variable. Okay. So there is a stream class called print stream out. So here this print stream object in java.lang is declared as public static print stream out. Okay. So this print stream is initiated by a system class after that. That's why we are saying out.println. So this println method is defined by print stream class. Now because this variant is a static variant, we can straight away say a system.out.println. Am I clear? Similarly, there is an input stream class, public static input stream called in, defined in the class called system, which facilitates us to read any input from console, okay na, character by character. This is basically input stream reader. This input stream reader in is basically used to read character by character from console. That's why if you remember, if you have worked with scanner classes, scanner ser is equals to new scanner on system.in is what you say. Have you ever observed this is basically to read input from command line client? And after Java 1.6, system has defined with another class called public. There is a method they have defined. The return type is console. Console class. Console is a class which is something like input stream reader directly pointing to the console. Okay, now this console class is an extension of input stream reader. So by calling a method console, so what it will do, it return. Okay, so here on the top, system class have console. It's not console. I'm sorry, console. Okay, now console is equals to new console on system.in is what is been defined, and then this console is being written over here. Return console is what he will say. So because of this, what is that we call? We simply call system.console.readline. This is method I am calling. So this method is again a public static method. So one or other way, we are reading or writing operations based on this one. Okay, now so here I will say scanner control X, and I'll put it over here. Or so how this is basically to write output to the console, and this is to read input from the console. So that's why we will use this one, either read line or kind of thing. Okay, so one or other way we are using directly or indirectly the print stream class or input stream reader class or a console class for this purpose. Okay, so because these are available in system, we are using them. If you feel like system is helping us to read input, you are wrong. Basically input output stream classes are only helping us to read input and write output. Without them, system also cannot deal anything. So rule is applied even for Java, not only to us, it is applied to Java also. That's why Java is said to be strictly typed language. Okay, so every rule is strictly typed for Java. Now here, what is that I'm trying to convey with this is, Dekho bhaiya, you want to read anything, you want to write anything, you got to depending on IO streams. Well, how many kind of streams I have? So I have 4 kind of streams. One is byte streams. Second is character streams. Third one is data streams. And the fourth one is object streams. And you have the fifth one called as piped streams also. That means a stream of streams. I make a stream of streams. Okay. Please try to understand a stream of streams. I can say better. Stream of streams. You can have this. We will work on all the kind of things. Now here, what is a byte stream? Byte streams are those who deal with the raw kind of raw kind of data. For example, like images, like zip files, or this kind of stuff. Any a system file which don't have extension, that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, how about character streams? This is basically to who deal with characters and strings. How about data streams? This is the one who deal with the primitive data types. That means it actually deal with all the remaining primitive data types. What are they? It deals with byte, it deal with short, it deal with the char. No, char is not there. It deal with int, it deal with long, it deal with the float, it deal with the double, it deals with boolean, and finally it deal with string. From the string we will get char at 0 bolke, we will get the first character. Okay na? So byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, and string. How about object? Object is also data type. Yes, it is, but for which we have a separate kind of stream who deal with the only objects. That means like we can pass an object into stream. What do you mean by an object? By the way, object is a pointer to a memory of heap and stack. That means it is a pointer. So shall we, are we passing a pointer to a remote system? What happens in stream? So in stream, so there is a resource of source, and there is a resource of target. When you create a stream, a small pipe is created between both of them. This is what we call a stream. And as long as you are writing bytes, all the bytes are, or all the characters or whatever is written into the pipe, and you flush it to the target, and the target is written with all the values, and then the pipe is removed. So this source can be any system. This target also can be any system. It could be in the same system, one file to another file also, whatever it is, you can do it through IO streams. So this could be one a file or a socket, and this also can be another target file or another socket. Socket means socket can be on a same system or on a different machine. Either of the way, socket means through a web, when we connect LAN, right? That's called as socket. So either of the way, we should be in a position to pass elements or data from one point to another point. Okay, now this is what is being facilitated by IO streams. So now what I'm trying to say here, what do you mean by object? So here from this, you wanted to pass and a memory to here. Now, how do you pass memory, man? Is it a pointer you are passing? Basically, no. Pointer cannot be passed, because the pointer passed over here may not know what is there here in this memory RAM. So here, what is that we need to pass over here is the actual object-based elements. So passing such a kind of thing is called as a serialization. What is the process is called? Objects that are serialized. So here what happens, the entire object is serialized into an encrypted format and then is passed over there, and then there at the receiver end, that is deserialized, and then memory is created for the object in that other machine. So this is what the process of object sending into stream. And then here we will create a stream of streams. That is, we can create a single stream on more than one stream, and we can write it or read it. That means you can create two streams. For example, there are 3 files. You wanted to write all the 3 files into a single file. You can create 3 stream objects on these 3 files, and you can create a stream of all these 3 streams again, and then pass it on to write. All the 3 files elements will be written into a single file, something like this. Okay, so we see them. Sequential streams is what we call as. Okay, we call them sequential streams. We will read all of them, and to happen, in order to facilitate this, we will take a help of someone called as Mr. File. So file basically represents any file in operating system. We can get every attribute of a file with this object. Am I clear? So this is the person who helps in a big way, especially when we are dealing with reading and writing kind of operations. Okay, so this is all what you are going to learn as a part of the session. Am I clear up to this level? So we will be learning byte streams, character streams, data streams, and object streams. So what are the byte streams you are going to learn are A. So you will be learning file input stream, and you will be learning buffered input stream. And then here, as a part of character streams, you would be learning a file reader, and then B, buffered reader. Similarly, so as when I say file input stream, you also have something called as file output stream. When I say buffered input stream, you also have as a buffered output stream. Similarly, when I say file reader, you also have a file writer for it. And similarly, when I say buffer reader, you also have a buffered writer for it. And you you have learned print writer already, print stream class. Okay, so you will be learning plus someone called as print writer, which we will be using exclusively when we come to servlets. And then here, when it comes to data streams, we have only one person, which is Mr. Data Input Stream as well as Data Output Stream. And here, when it comes to objects, you have got something called as Object Input Stream as well as Object Output Stream. Okay, so on the root of all these classes for IO streams, we have an interface input and we have an interface output. So this input interface is a very first level being implemented by an abstract class called input stream. So who will act as a super class to all other input stream classes. Similarly, this interface output is being implemented by an abstract class called output stream, which will act as a super class to all other output stream classes. Everything is predefined properly. And then, as I told you, this input and output are basically, this one is basically meant for byte kind of style, raw style, but this is raw style. Okay, cool. Then what is the peculiar types I have? We have an interface called reader that extends input, which is basically is been implemented by abstract class called input stream reader, which is basically super to all reader kind of streams. And I have an interface called writer extends output, and this is basically an abstract class implemented by abstract class output stream writer, which works as a super to all writer kind of streams, or I could say classes. Here also, instead of streams, I could say key classes. And then here interface called data input, okay, extends input, and which is directly implemented by a class called class data input stream, and an interface called data output extends output, which is implemented again by a direct class. It's not an abstract class called data output stream. This is what we use directly. And I have an interface called object input extends input, which is being implemented by a class called object input stream, and an interface called object output extends output interface, which is being implemented by a class called object output stream. And you have seen what are they below, right? So these are the kind of what do you call this structure I have. You could actually see everything in a single screen. Clear? So even we have sequential also, which we will be seeing them. So you can see this. Okay, so this is what exactly I'm speaking about. So IO streams defined by Java.io are classified into these 4 categories. Everything is based on interfaces only. So what is that we are going to learn in our next session is the methods of Mr. Input and Mr. Output, and by extending them, these readers and data inputs and object inputs as well as outputs get the behavior of input and output, plus adds 2 or 3 methods of their own style, so that they can behave peculiarly or specially compared to input. Okay, so these 4 different kind of streams is what we are going to see in the evening session. Okay, 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock. We will 5:30 to 7. I'm sorry, till 5. I think you have a session. Okay, so 5:30 to 7:30. We will see first half an hour we will spend with the methods. We will identify the methods. Once we have identified, what is that we do? We will see each example on each and every type. We will try to read and write a raw type, try to read and write a document or text file kind of thing, character files, and we will try to read and write input data, individual data element, just like scanner, using data input and data output. And finally, we will try to write and read objects directly from the memory. Okay, and we will learn about file class. We'll try to print every element of a file, attributes of a file. This is what you are going to learn as a part of the session in the evening. Am I clear? So this is very important when it comes to projects also. You would be doing so many operations on a daily basis, like downloading files, uploading files, and then creating files. All these operations will be covered as a part of the session, evening session. Clear? So stay tuned. I'll upload this. I will keep this file with me as of now. I don't upload this file what you are seeing over here. This one. This I will be giving you after we have discussed methods also in the evening. For now, after 1.5 hours, I'll try to give the link to the video session, threads video session, and this one, whatever is getting recorded. And also we'll try to upload those 2 examples, reservation example and the bank example, into the groups. Go through that, learn it, and then also attend your college session. And then when we come back and meet in the evening, we will discuss exclusively about IO streams. Okay, and tomorrow session, tomorrow is Good Friday, so I will have to discuss this with Raj Kishore sir about tomorrow session timings, whether we have a session or we will have a break, or I don't know. We'll discuss and then I'll get back to you in the evening slot. Okay, I'll update you in the group. Raj Kishore sir will update you in the group else. Thank you guys. We catch you in the evening 5:30.